All right, so I'm going to go through some of our expert mode settings here, just to give you a little insight on some things that might help you with printing and what they do. So some of you have already figured out between standard, fine, and fast, and when you click through them, you can see that some of these basic settings change. So from standard to fine, the layer height gets smaller, the density is the same, the print speed gets slower, and there's more shells. To fast, the density is less, it's a higher layer height. So depending on what you're trying to do, those things might help you along like that alone. But if you go into expert mode, you can individually control things as well. So printer, you're not going to want to change any of that. General is where you can get layer height. So if you only want to change the layer height but not speed or infill, this is where you would do that. And if you hover over anything, it tells you what it does. So this is the thickness of each layer. The less thickness of layers, the more time it'll be used because it's going to take more layers, but it's going to be a cleaner model. Speed, all of that is in here. Infill is also really common. So the density of it and sometimes even the shape of it can change how your print turns out. So if you want to play around with that, let's see here in here, that's kind of it for that is the density. If you want it to be more solid, or if you're doing like a quick test print and you just want to see if something fits or what the size is, you could make it a lot less infill. I don't think you want to go 0, probably at least 5%. Supports, so that is if you turn on supports. Raft, most likely you're going to want to keep the raft on. I have not seen our printers do well without a raft, but you can change that. The space to model Z, so that is super helpful if you're finding that your model is getting stuck to the raft. So just increasing this to like 0.17 can make it a little easier so that your raft is not stuck on your model and you can remove it cleaner. So I recommend modifying that on every print just to make sure it turns out well on your raft. There isn't much else in here. Like there's obviously a lot of settings you could change, but not really for what we are doing. So that's a quick little overview. You can always switch back to basic. It keeps all of your settings, and then you just do slice like normal, and then it does what you want. So those are some settings to keep in mind.